Hi guys, it's Bianca Boyd. Just wanted to make this video about the agenda the media perpetuates to encourage interracial dating. In May 2018, 33-year-old Morgan Sims was charged in the death of her husband, 37-year-old Delray Vontrell Sims. Vontrell was shot multiple times by his wife. Morgan Sims, who had fled the crime scene when she heard police sirens, leaving her bloodied spouse laying on the bathroom floor in a pool of his own blood, also leaving the couple's two children home with their mortally injured father. Police later charged Mrs. Sims with 2 counts of abandoning and endangering a child. Morgan admitted to police while in custody that Vontrell had been abusing her. Morgan also had injuries to her face and arms, which police noted in their report. At this time, Morgan Sims is out on bail and awaiting trial. February 2016, 23-year-old Danielle Jones was beaten into a coma by her Craigslist roommate, Byron Mitchell. June of 2019, Byron Mitchell was found guilty of first-degree murder and false imprisonment. Prosecutors say Mitchell had choked, bashed, and stabbed Danielle Jones, leaving her in a coma. August 2018, recently released from a Pittsburgh prison, 30-year-old Jonathan Wesley Harris called his girlfriend, 36-year-old Christina Kraft, a local model in the Pittsburgh area, to meet up. They met up where they eventually made their way back to Kraft's apartment. Kraft was later found violently strangled, beaten, and her nose was broken. Kraft's apartment building had outdoor security, which caught Harris on film leaving and coming to her apartment. May 2019, Jonathan Wesley Harris was sentenced to life in prison, plus an additional 22 to 45 years for the murder. In March 2018, Illinois resident 40-year-old Len Washington faces first-degree murder charges in the death of his wife, 27-year-old Lakeisha Robbie. Along with those charges, Washington faces abduction charges for taking the couple's 2 small children from the home. In March 2018, Len Washington was denied bail. At this time, Washington is still in jail and awaiting trial. In April of 2018, a Cleveland man, Yaphet Bradley, was charged with aggravated murder, corpse abuse, and tampering with evidence in the murder of 31-year-old Miriam Johnson. Yaphet stabbed Miriam 4 times, then shot and killed her. In June of 2019, Yaphet Bradley pled guilty of killing ex-girlfriend Miriam. At this time, Bradley is awaiting his sentencing trial. Staten Island woman, 35-year-old Bridget Schnick, was shot in the chest by boyfriend Keith Jackson during a heated argument where Jackson wanted Schnick to have an abortion. Jackson shot Schnick and left her body for dead. Police apprehended Jackson later. In March 2019, Keith Jackson was convicted and sentenced to 25 years to life in prison. After a week-long trial, a jury found Jackson guilty of the murder of Bridget Schnick. In June of 2018, 47-year-old Aaron Arsenault of Houston, Texas, is a lead suspect in the murder of his girlfriend, 29-year-old Maria Rodriguez. Arsenault is said to have dismembered Rodriguez's body with a chainsaw. At this time, Eric Arsenault is still very much a suspect in the murder, and the Rodriguez family, along with law enforcement, has pled for help from the public in finding Arsenault. So guys, I actually wanted to make this video just to showcase that there's a dark side to interracial dating that the media doesn't always show. And I wanted to just show a few of the criminal cases that I found that prove that, contrary to what black men and white women say about these unions being the best, or about that they say black women are the problematic source of contention in the black family dynamic, that actually it seems to be the black man that's the issue in the black family. And it seems to be in the white family. Black men are making white women, single parents, constantly. I think, if I'm not mistaken, the CDC just released a report that states that the black man is leaving the white woman and abandoning them with their children and leaving them fatherless. And it's happening at a staggering rate, apparently, lately. And I just wanted to, like I said, I don't want to depict black men as rapists, as murderers, as killers or criminals, any kind of thing like that. I literally just want to showcase that it's not all like these images that I'm showcasing now, where to me the media is perpetuating this interracial dating agenda it's pretty obvious what's going on. And I think in commercials they just depict the relationship as perfection and as relationship goals, and abandon the black woman and move on to the white woman. And I think that we as black people need to open our eyes and we need to wonder why this is going on and it hadn't before. And some things that they also don't want to talk about is the rate of infertility in Caucasians and Europeans. The infertility rate is at a all new high, and right now, the black race is pretty fertile. So it's just, in my opinion, I don't know for sure, just kind of a conspiracy theorist almost. There's conspiracy theory, but I'm wondering if a lot of it is that, because it seems so overwhelming. I even personally get hit on left and right by white men, and I've always been hit on. I worked in the medical field for quite a few years, and I've always been hit on by Caucasian men and men of other races. Period. But as of lately, it just seems like it's happening so much. It's men of other races, like a lot. I'm seeing a lot more African American women dating out. Of course, not as much as black men tend to date out. I happen to think black men date out at 3 times the rate as black women. That's not an accurate statistic. That's just my theory. I actually think it's more, but I was just like lowballing it for the guy's sake. But I also wanted to touch on the fact that I've heard that these kids that the biracial couples, interracial couples have, the biracial children that they have, that they're not very happy with their existence. Like there's some self-loathing issues. There's issues with them not appreciating their skin color, their hair texture. And there definitely is this that goes on in the black community as well, but it seems to be where these unions create children who either show colorism issues, where they tend to lash out at black women or darker skinned women. And I know I found that they tend to pick on darker skinned women, and it can happen for darker skinned women can pick on lighter skinned women. I've seen that happen as well. But I also think that black men play a big part in the way that the little biracial kids see themselves. If they are having self-loathing issues, one would think that the father has shown that in the household, and the mother has maybe said disparaging things about black women. And because I can't think of any other reason why a child wouldn't love themselves or would just at an early age have self-hatred or signs of self-hatred. I definitely would venture to say that it is the mother and father's fault when that happens, when the kids are unhappy and not grounded and foundational and just not cultural. They tend to move these children out in suburbs where they're the only minority in the school full of white kids and other minorities of kids. And I found that can be problematic to the kids' growth and their ability to relate to their nationality and just their race. So I just wanted to touch on that and didn't want to make this too long, but thank you guys so much for listening. I definitely will try to make more videos. I'm trying to get a little better at this, but thank you guys so much. And if you want to thumbs this video up, I'd really appreciate it. And if you like the content, subscribe. Thanks.